Welcome. I found out from my good friend, we've only been friends for about 5 minutes, but from Anthony that I can say, welcome Louisianians. I now know how to say, I had no idea how to say that. I'm from the Boston area. My research and practice has led to 3 publications. It's Time to Play a Band Instrument, It's Time to Play the Recorder, and I just finished volume 1 of It's Time to Play a String Instrument, and volume 2, they'll both come out in the spring. I'm finally good enough that I don't want to quit. That's why kids quit, because they're not successful. That's why they quit. So, let's see. What does success look like in beginning band and strings? You know what I'm going to say. They play well enough that they don't want to quit. For me, I want 100% of the kids to succeed in playing an instrument. I want 100% success. When they can play, they feel good about themselves. When they feel good about themselves, they continue. How do we make them feel? Do we care enough to make them successful or to follow the steps that they need to make them successful?
Here's my story. This is what I like to say I do, helping every student succeed when it's time to play an instrument with a multi-sensory, step-by-step approach to music making and literacy. That's what I'm looking for, 100% success, because every student matters. Louis Armstrong. You all know who he is, right? I was in Louis Armstrong Park yesterday, walking, first time in New Orleans, I had to go there. 22 people shared this as a Facebook post, which I thought was a lot. It's more than I've ever seen. But this story is, he sang in the streets as a child for money. He learned to play the trumpet by ear. Sound before foresight, music before notation. And yes, he was a brilliant reader of notation, but it's not how he started. He started just by playing.
Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. Have you heard it? A few of you don't know it? Do some motions with me. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. The kids love doing that. Because they go, oh, can we will rock you? Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. There we go. It uses the syllables do, re, mi, so, la. So repeat after me. Mi, so, la, mi, so.
Mi, so, la, mi, so.
You sound awesome for a group of 6th graders. It's so good. Mi, so, la, mi, re.
Mi, so, la, mi, re.
Mi, so, la, mi, so.
Mi, so, la, mi, so.
Mi, so, mi, re, do.
Mi, so, mi, re, do.
I'm going to finger it on the trumpet. You can finger it on any instrument, but I want you to sing and finger it. Ready? Go. Mi, so, la, mi, so. Mi, so, la, mi, re. Mi, so, la, mi, so. Mi, so, mi, re, do. I start. Let's play it on our instruments. I would give them more steps than that, but you could see they had to do something. They had to do something before they played it. I didn't just show them the notation and say play. Half the kids would get it, but if I take these steps, all the kids get it. And if they don't get it, I figure out which step they didn't get it at, and I do more reinforcement. This is also a typical line for me. If you didn't get it this week, don't worry, you'll get it next week. Because I review every week. Don't expect kids to come in and do, if you sign page 32, for them to be able to play page 32. I guess you expect them to play page 32, but review page 1. One song from page 1. One song for the next unit. One song for the next unit. Get the laggers behind. Some kids don't practice, right? Oh no, they don't. You didn't practice. Do they deserve a musical future? Yes. Do they just maybe have less support than the other kids? So we've got to review, and we've got to take the steps. Here are my barriers to engagement and retention. Starting with notation first. If you start with notation, I don't need this anymore, do I? If you start with notation first, 50% of the kids will get it. They just will. And maybe you can get more along. Playing the song using notation right away. For me, that's step 8 out of my 11 leaps. Music before notation, sound before sight. Barrier to a limited song repertoire. This is a barrier to engagement and retention. Method books and literature also uses folk songs that are less interesting than the richer collection found in most elementary classrooms. Elementary classroom kids are singing songs from around the world thanks to those methodologies, Kodai, Orff. They're just using rich repertoires of songs throughout the world. I use those songs now with my beginning players. Expanding the song repertoire, playing and singing songs from around the world for a more engaging repertoire, but there's something else. Making sure all students see themselves as belonging in the instrumental ensemble. I have kids from China in my ensemble, I do songs from China. I have kids from Japan in my ensemble, I do songs from Japan. I have Spanish speakers, I do songs from Mexico. How many of you would say you have a diverse population in your school community? Maybe not every, but yeah. And I think we're seeing it more and more. Barrier 3 is an exclusive focus. And this really takes us up through elementary school, middle school, high school, and beyond. An exclusive focus on, I'm playing an instrument so I can play in the orchestra. I'm playing an instrument so I can play in the band. And while that is critical, and while that's what we do, we also are teaching them to play an instrument for personal expression. I play the trumpet so I can go home and play songs on the trumpet for my family and for my friends. I play so I can go and do a jam session with my friends. I play the trumpet. The trumpet doesn't just belong in the band. And notice I'm not saying either or, right? I'm saying it's like just this broader approach. Kids are learning to play an instrument for personal expression. Learning a repertoire of songs to play for family and friends. Playing a variety of genres to which reflect the school community. So what if you have a large Mexican population and you decide you want to do some mariachi songs? Or even do a mariachi in an authentic style. And creating music and improvising, which I believe should be done in every single class. You first?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, how often did you see your kids?
It's a great question. And you know, you're gonna be surprised. I have one of the worst schedules. I see them once every 6 days.
Oh.
Once every 6 days. So when you heard those concerts and those kids playing, that's on once every 6 days. But I would take that over teaching kids with no musical knowledge. I'm their 3rd and 4th grade general music. I build on what they know. You know what, one of the things you didn't get to see is I also have a recorder curriculum. That's all the same. If you go to my website, you'll see it. So I use a lot of those same songs on the recorder. They sung them, so you know how I said you could go easily from a trumpet to a clarinet? Or a saxophone to a clarinet? If you have the musical understanding, they go from the recorder, every kid. And by the way, I'm looking for 100% success. That's where I got my 100% success as an elementary music teacher. As band and orchestra teachers, too much I hear on Facebook groups, they're just not a band kid. What the heck is a band kid? A band kid is someone who can read music easily. They're the ones who I want in my band because they can play the 3rd clarinet part. And I'm just trying to shift the focus to say, it's not about me, it's not about my band, it's not about the composers, and I am a composer, it's about the kids learning to play an instrument for personal expression, and they also get this awesome experience of playing in a band. I think the band world is so amazing. I played in bands my whole life that more kids should get in. And we've got to start thinking about 100% of the kids. We've got to start thinking about little Colin, who struggled and one day said, I can do it, I guess I don't have to quit. When they can do it, they continue.